Thigmotaxis was the main part of a major solo exhibition that I had at Perth Institute of Contemporary Arts. So I wanted to create a tower, an obelisk-like tower inside the architecture of the building that was really impressive, that really took over the space, but also functioned as a micro cinema, so a space that you could go inside and watch one of the films that I made for the exhibition. It was about this idea of climbing architecture and finding these routes in the city that you could move through in a vertical fashion. So the actual design for the tower is based on a series of proposed climbing routes on the architecture around the space of the gallery. These three-dimensional kind of climbing routes were sort of pushed into the tower. I started working through all of the different possibilities. I have a background in sculpture and I've worked with a lot of different materials, but nothing on this scale. So I sort of systematically worked through all my options and had to eliminate almost all of them. Wood, plate steel, polycarbon, fiberglass, acrylic, I considered all of them. But they were either prohibitively expensive or they were going to be so heavy that they would collapse the wooden floorboards in the heritage building. It was really the only material that was light enough, that was affordable, that could be manipulated and cut into such complex shapes, and that I could join myself, that we could put together without having to weld or bring in specialty carpenters. So it has this incredible versatility to it. And it ultimately really allowed me to realise the project that I wanted to. I began researching different companies that would be able to do this, and there was nobody. I tried, 3 different companies in Perth that had different kinds of smaller router machinery. I tried people in the eastern states. It was very difficult. So I was really happy to be able to find such capable engineers and a company that could take on this project. In a way, it was something kind of new for both of us. It was a very big structure. It was over 7 meters high, and broken down into single components. There was, I think, 163 different pieces that had to be cut, and really complex shapes in some of them as well. It was a dream working with FoamShapers. The engineers were fantastic. They translated my design across into something that they could cut and were very aware of not compromising the design. So there were some modifications that needed to be made, but all of this was always sort of checked with me, and they talked through the whole process and showed me what they were doing. So it was really interesting for me, and it's allowed me to understand what is possible. I think when people walked into the gallery, they were kind of shocked. The public were not expecting to see this massive tower in there, and the way that it had been surface treated with a micaceous iron oxide paint. It was really hard to tell what it was made from as well. So people would kind of look at this giant tower and think, how did you get this in here? How did you build this? I would totally and unreservedly recommend FoamShapers to other artists. It's been a fantastic experience for me working with them, and I wholeheartedly recommend FoamShapers to any artist who's considering working with foam.